Good morning, Mark from Bavarian Auto Haus. A little bit about myself is I've been married to my wife Gloria. It's coming up on 30 years. Be 30 years on March 1st. We've decided to take a little trip for our 30-year anniversary. She wanted to go to Vegas, and I said let's kind of do something a little low-key. So we're going to go to San Antonio, go see the Alamo, go to the Riverwalk, that kind of thing. And she actually liked that idea. So we have 3 boys, ages 31, 30, and 20. Well, be 20 soon. And then 4 grandchildren, ages 9, 7, 9, 7, 5, no, 9, 7, 4, and 2. And kind of a funny story about my second grandson. Now let me back up just a hair. My grandmother was born on December 4th in 1905. My youngest brother was born on December 4th in 1972. And then my second grandson was born on December 4th. So we have 3 generations of family that were all share the same birthday. So I thought that was kind of unique, kind of different. So, again, like I said, I'm Mark with Bavarian Auto Haus. Well, first off, I want to talk about one of our members. We have a member in our group that has a reputation for tardiness. And I want you to know that she is not always tardy. Donnie had an appointment with me for December 1st at 9 o'clock in the morning. And on November 31st, or November 30th, she showed up for her appointment. And she was 24 hours early. I threatened to post it on Facebook. So, she's not here. But I want to share that Donna's not always late.
That's funny.
So, Gloria and I bought Bavarian Auto Haus. It'll be 7 years ago in January. We took over January 1st, 2009. The last business payment is going to be made on January 5th of this coming year, and the business will be completely paid off. We're pretty excited about that.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Huge.
It's kind of it seems like a goal or an accomplishment that you wouldn't really think of, but I guess it's kind of like paying off your house.
It is.
So one of the things that I think has made Bavarian Auto Haus as successful as it's been, we do things a little bit different than a lot of your shops do. A lot of your shops, they'll bring the car in and they look for everything possible under the sun that they could possibly fix on the car. And they call you up and say your car needs all this stuff, and if it doesn't happen, you're not going to get from point A to point B. They use a lot of scare tactics. A lot of shops will tend to bring you in for an oil change. You'll see these low-cost oil changes, $19.99, $29.99 for an oil change. The whole reason for them to do that is they want to upsell you. They want to find other things on the car that they can sell you whether you need it or not. There's a couple of shops in the valley that I've talked with some of their technicians, and the technicians are required to find a minimum $300 worth of repairs that need to be done on every car. And if they don't, they're getting heat from up above. So we've got a little bit of different philosophy. First off, when I hire somebody, I said, you know what, we want to find out what's wrong with the people's car. We want to prioritize it. We don't want to sell anybody anything that they don't need. I said, we won't sell anybody anything they don't need. But if they need it, we have an obligation to let them know. And then kind of in what priority it needs to be done in. A couple of examples of kind of pricing. Jeremy at the bank, at Savvy Bank, he'd gotten a couple quotes on some repairs to his Toyota. And there was one shop that I believe quoted him somewhere in the neighborhood of about $7 grand. The dealer was around $4,000, and we were about $2,000. And the reason we were about $2,000 is because we looked at what's the most cost-effective way to repair that vehicle and make sure that it was going to stand up for him. most cost-effective way, he had an unusual situation. He had a transaxle that went out. And very rare on Toyotas. Obviously something had gone wrong. Maintenance hadn't been properly done on that particular unit. Don't know why, don't know any history behind it, but it was obvious that something had gone wrong on that. When we got it at the shop, we found out there was no oil in it. So whoever had been servicing the vehicle hadn't been taking care of it, making sure everything was done. But we knew that because there is such a low failure rate on that part, that if I got a low mileage used part, we could install it in that vehicle, save him a substantial amount of money, and put the vehicle on the road so him and his wife and his kids are safe going back and forth wherever they need to go and not have a problem. We realize the value of a dollar, and we're going to do everything we can to help the customer make sure that they're getting the best buy for their dollar. I have a customer that does a lot of traveling. Her business requires her to do a lot of traveling. She brought her car in the other day. She marked, she said, I'm smelling gas. When I'm at an idle, I smell gas. And so she said, and you told me that I was due for my 90,000 mile service 9,000 miles ago. So could you let me know if I'm really due for my 90,000 mile service? And this was a fairly new car to her. She bought it. She had a problem with it. The vehicle needed a thermostat. We put a thermostat in it about 2 months ago. So she put like 10,000 miles on this car in 2 months. At that time it had 88,000 miles on it. I told her that she had a 90,000 mile service coming up. This is what needs to be done. You need to budget for it because it's about an $800 service that needed to be done on that particular vehicle. She brought it in because she was smelling gas. She was at 99,000 miles, so it was actually 11,000 miles. But as we were going through, I ran a Carfax on the vehicle to see what kind of service work had been done on it. And I couldn't see where a timing belt had ever been done on the car. So we had a discussion. The timing belt's due at 60,000 miles on that particular vehicle. So I called her and I said, here's the situation. Got to have the 90,000 mile service done. Plus, I think we need to do the timing belt. So it went from an $800 repair to about a $2,200 repair. And I said, I don't like to have to tell you this, but it's my responsibility to let you know what needs to be done to your car because you put so many miles on it. I have an obligation to you to make sure that your car is going to safely get you from point A to point B. She actually appreciated the fact, she didn't really like the fact that she had to spend $2,200 right before Christmas, but she appreciated the fact that we were looking out for her best interest. We weren't going to just bring it in and do what take care of the one problem that she had. We're going to make sure that vehicle is going to do everything that she needs to do. On the other side of the coin, I've got a gentleman that brought his car in. He had a little accident. He was concerned that his car wouldn't be repairable. So real light little fender bender. I mean, there's really no dents in the car. There's scuffs on the bumper. The fire department, in their infinite wisdom, when they showed up, they cut the negative cable. I have no idea why, but they tend to like to open the hoods and cut the battery cables. A couple of the headlight mounting tabs are broken on it, just from the impact. So I called Jerry and I said, Jerry, I can fix your car. It's going to be, I got to put a new cable on it. You want us to do an oil change. You got a couple of headlight tabs that are broken. I said, do you do a lot of driving at night? Jerry said, no, I don't drive at night at all. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Instead of putting new headlights in it, let me glue the tabs. We'll put it back in place. And, you know, if you do start driving at night and you feel like you can't, you know, the lighting's not good enough, then we'll need to talk about putting the headlights in. He called me back and goes, well, how bad is it? How am I going to know if it was bad? I said, Jerry, you won't be able to see the road.
Pretty obvious.
We were able to save him money because he didn't need to have those repairs done. He's been a little bit mentally challenged. Nice guy, but another shop would have probably rang up a $2,000 bill. He's going to get out of our shop for about $400.
Wow.
And it's just, Yeah, I can't stress how important it is for us as a shop, and my guys are the same way. My guys will come to me and say, well, you've got so many hours to do this job. Well, yeah, that's what the book calls for. He goes, but I did it in half that time. He said, we need to give them, they'll tell me, we need to give them a break. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's their paycheck. They get paid on the hours that are sold through that shop. They're on what's called flat rate. But my guys want to make sure that our customers are taken care of and treated fairly too. So it's not just the front office, it's the guys back in the shop that are going, we need to make sure that people are taken care of. Kind of a whole different philosophy or culture in our shop. We're not there to make big money on a few jobs. We're there to help customers make a fair and reasonable profit on each job and do a whole lot of jobs. It's easier to do it the other way, but we kind of feel like we have an obligation to be that shop that kind of shines out there and takes care of people. We've got a lot of elderly customers. We've got some fleet accounts. We've got a lot of people that depend on us to make sure that their vehicles are going to be dependable and that they're treated fairly. So for us, it's important to make sure that everybody's treated right. So my 10 minutes is up. I'm Mark with Bavarian Auto Haus, where we've been entrusted for generations.
Good. Oh, that was perfect.